I want to welcome the GMs and the wives, the godly men and the warm, inviting, feminine, empathetic women out there. Calm her mind and she'll calm your soul. This is something that I now live by, and I didn't always used to live by this principle, but you have to, as a man, be able to let the woman that you're talking to feel like she can be herself around you and that she can just be who she is. And it is your job as a man to make sure that you're providing a safe environment in which she's free to be herself. And this can involve you, and actually ought to involve you, understanding your shadow, your dark nature. Because if you can't really understand your own animalistic side and your animalistic nature, how do you think subconsciously a woman is going to respond to you if you don't even yourself understand the complexities and the simplicities of your animalistic nature and desires? You see, when you're able to see that in the woman that you're talking to, she is just as capable as evil as any other person, specifically a man, let's say, because we all have this. I don't know why, but society has just seemingly had this perception of women to be these innocent creatures that can do no wrong ever. And it's just not the case. Even the good women that I know and that I've known in the past have been capable of doing dangerous things. In fact, most of the good women that I've actually talked to have known how to shoot a firearm. They know how to live like outside if they need to. They have some kind of survival skills available. And yet they're not necessarily the tomboys. They're still the ones that wear dresses. They're still the ones that have their hair long. They're still the ones that don't really wear a lot of makeup and are very natural in their appearance. And so what I've come to realize is that a lot of women nowadays do not like you seeking qualities that they themselves don't really have or possess, even though you like they may not even want you in a certain way, even though they may not really even care to actually be with you long term. The fact that you're just seeking for qualities that are not a part of them, like what they are and who they are, that can anger them. So you've got to be careful, and this is why it's important to know how to calm a woman's mind down, because a woman's imagination is the most, I think, the most interesting thing that could possibly be sparked up in conversation. A woman's imagination can literally take you wherever the conversation needs to. And in fact, it's her imagination that's going to work in your favor most of the time. But if she's not able to articulate herself enough to the point in which she can actually see that it's her imagination that's getting the best of her, you're going to have to be the one to either calm that down or just leave the situation altogether. Because women will overthink and overthink and overthink because they feel first. Again, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Women feel and then they think, men think and then they feel. That is the main difference biologically between males and females. So make sure to really see and establish a solidified foundation whenever you are interacting with a woman. And one of the best things that you can do as a man to do this is to just simply be on semen retention. And that's the easiest and most natural way that I think, well, maybe not easiest, but it's the most simplistic way to keep that foundation, because you'll be able to connect a lot easier. And I found that even though I cannot relate to most people, I can still be relatable, and I can still have a relatable interaction and connection with people, even if I don't necessarily agree with them, even if I don't necessarily understand them. We can share energy and have it not be super, I would say, tense. It's not going to be super tense, even if we don't necessarily agree. The energy between us is not going to be intense at all. So that is a benefit for semen retention, but also just understanding that you are not supposed to be, I would say, mesmerized by the eternal image of the woman's beauty in your own mind. Because if you are mesmerized by the image, you're not going to be able to see her as a person. And if you can't see her as a person in front of you, then it's going to be very difficult for you to have a soul that is going to be able to be calmed. Because a good woman knows how to calm your soul just by her being in her natural state. Haven't you ever, if anybody has been around feminine women, the warm, inviting, feminine, empathetic women that I speak of, and there's not very many of them, but the ones that you have been around, haven't you noticed that there's a specific kind of genuine relaxation that happens when you're around this person? It's the same kind of concept, but when you're in your masculine for the female. When you're in your masculine frame for the female, it's natural. And this is one of the reasons why men and women, we go much better when we are operating under the presupposition that we need each other. Because all of this, I don't need a man or I don't need a woman, it's like, well, a man, he's actually like, if he needs a woman in his life, I don't really think that man can be a man. He can want a woman, but he cannot need her. Whereas a woman she can need a man, but she might not want him. That's the difference. I think that's what women are really saying when they say, I don't need a man. It's like, they don't want a man, but they know that they need the man. And that's what they are fighting against, this biological internalized struggle. They're fighting against their own natural biology, which is a very difficult thing to watch sometimes. But ultimately, the greatest and most self-aware thing that you can do as a man is to ensure that you're just being who you are, being truthful in what you say, and understanding how it is that if you can be who you are, operating under your principles, your values, your code, because if you don't have a code as a man, I really don't think you can be a man either. You have to have some kind of code, no matter what that code is, even if it's a little bit dark, you might say. But you have to have a code, and if you don't have a code, good luck, man. Like, you're not really going to be a man, because only the man inside you can be the man that you need to be. Only the man inside you can create the man that you need to be. The boy that's inside you, if you're still in that boyhood stage, transferring and realizing that deeper sense of self and really knowing who you are, then that boy has to be, that boy is not going to be able to create the man. The man creates the man. A boy cannot create a man. So with that being said, I hope this message was useful and insightful. And until next time, peace be with you.